is Abdul Rahman. I'm a lecturer at a public university in Kenya. I deliver lectures in computing and informatics. In our last session, we discussed about access modifier. And basically, you had seen that actually there are four basic access modifier. We discussed about the private keyword, the default, the protected keyword, and the public keyword. Today, we are going to start up onto a new journey, and onto that particular journey, we are going to ask ourselves what are conditional statements. And onto that journey, we are going to talk about the definition of a conditional statement, the types of the statement, and then finally we'll go to Eclipse to implement the same. So let us start on that particular journey. So actually, what is a conditional statement? Basically, when we are saying a conditional statement, these are nothing but they are set of rules. So these are set of rules. These particular rules, they are performed on a variable, or they are performed on a variable and compare a Boolean expression. So actually, this particular set of rules are actually performed on a variable and compare a Boolean expression. So they compare a Boolean expression. Therefore, if a Boolean expression it is true, then an action it is performed. So when it is true, a particular action it is performed. Whether it is false, then another action it is performed. So, and basically we are saying these particular Boolean expressions, they are the ones which are they are dependent clause, and the action performed, they are what you call independent clause. So we have got what you call the dependent clause, which is the Boolean expression, and we have the independent statement or clause, which is what you call the action performed. So basically, thus it is what a conditional statement. So that one takes us to the type of conditional statement, and basically we've got around 4 types. So our conditional statement, we have around 5 types. So type number 1, which we have, is called an if statement, and type number 2 is what you call the nested if statement, and type number 3 is what you call the if else statement, and type number 4 is what you call the if else if statement, and finally the last one is what you call actually the switch statement. So these are the 5 types. Let's see what they entail. So an if statement, basically it is the one actually which evaluate a Boolean expression, and if actually the Boolean expression returns true, then a statement is executed, else it exits. And when we're talking about the nested if, basically this is an if statement inside an if statement. So this is an if statement inside another if statement. And basically what it does, if the outer if statement it is true, it actually executes the outer if statement. If it is false, it goes to the next if statement and executes it. And if it is true, the next if statement, then it executes the second if statement. If it is false, moves on to the next if statement until the nth if statement. And then we have what you call the if else statement. If else statement, actually it executes the if statement, and if it returns true, it executes a statement, else If it is false, it executes the else statement and then exits. So as opposed to the first one, it exists, but this one executes the else statement and then exits. Then the fourth one, we have what you call the if-else if statement. The if statement, actually this one evaluates what you call more than one expression. It evaluates more than one expression, and the first expression, if it is true, then it is actually execute a statement. Else, if it is false, it goes to check the second expression. And if the second expression is true, it executes the second expression. And if it is false, it looks to the third expression. And if it is true, it executes the third expression. And if it is false, it goes on until the nth expression. And then basically, if all of them are false, then it's going to execute the else statement and then exit. And then we have what you call the switch statement. A switch statement actually is an alternative to the if-else if statement, and basically what it does, it executes multiple choices. It executes multiple choices, and it actually switches on either a variable or an expression. And this particular expression, it is actually evaluated against a case value, and that particular value can be either a literal or a constant, and it might have what you call, so it must be either a literal or a constant, and it might contain what you call a break statement and a default label, and this, all of them, they are actually optional. So those are our 5 conditional statements: the if statement, the nested if statement, the if-else statement, the if-else if statement, and the switch statement. So now we can go actually in our Eclipse and try to implement after the same. So we are going to implement it in a very shorter manner, or a simple manner. So I'll actually declare a variable called num, and I'll give it, I'll assign it a value maybe of 100. So after doing that, basically I'm using up an if statement. So if we are saying our num, it is less than or equal to 100, then I want us to print something. So here I'm basically saying I want us to print something, so that will be actually system dot out dot print ln. What I want to print, basically I just print up a simple thing and say the value of num equals to, and basically I'll say plus my num. So that is a very simple statement, and onto that, let's run this particular program. So when I run this particular program, actually tell me the value of num is equally to 100. Now if I change here the value of 100 here and put, let's say, 101, let's see what will print. So if I put up 101, and actually if I run this particular program, it tells me nothing, because actually the statement here, it is false, so it tells me actually nothing. It doesn't return up anything, so it just exits the program. So that one comes up to the end of this particular session. Until on to our next session, whereby we are going to see into details what actually the if statement is all about. Thank you for listening. However, don't forget to subscribe onto our next session. For now, I say bye.